podium right now. Her Ladyship, she's the chairman of the Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission. She was the 14th Chief Justice, the 14th Chief Judge, and the 4th ever female Chief Judge of the Lagos State. And prior to her elevation to the bench in 1994, she held the position of Director of the Commercial Law and Director of Civil Litigation at the Lagos State Ministry of Justice. Please put your hands together as we welcome a proud and distinguished alumnus of Kehinde Sofola and Co. Please put your hands together for our Honorable Justice Ayotunde Phillips.
Yes, and please permit me to stand on whatever protocol there is existing here now, because I don't want to trip up and fall. You'll see that I'm now a very old woman, being assisted up the steps by two very hefty gentlemen. Thank you very much for this morning. Well, first of all, I must say that I adopt all that has been said about my late Oga, Kehinde Sofola, in this program. Everything has been said about him I can say. But I think this morning I will just touch on the human aspects of Oga, as we used to call him in chambers then. I was first there in 1974 when I was in the law school, where we were doing our chamber attachment. And that's where I realized that this is the chambers where I should work if I want to be successful as a legal practitioner. And that is where the foundation of where I find myself today was laid. I was taught very early to be punctual. The chambers at 2 Tinubu Square, and I lived in Surulere. I just got married, and I was expecting my first child. And we were in Surulere, and we had to wake up very early in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, to beat the Eco Bridge traffic. Even with the odd and even that came into existence, the odd and even numbers, I think my uncle, Chief Okunu, was part of that. I'm not too sure. But the other even still didn't help. We were still bumper to bumper, right from Surulere down Western Avenue, right onto Eco Bridge. And I got to the office between 6:30 and 7 o'clock in the morning, and Oga was already there. And I used to wonder, this old man, how does he get to work so early in the morning? He was already there waiting, and if you're late, if you come after 8 o'clock, you're in trouble. He will his mood changes quickly. He could be smiling within 1 minute and the next minute is furious. And later in life, I got to realize that he was teaching us how to enforce discipline in the office. Every single letter that went out from that chambers, Oga will find the time to vet. He will vet it and he will tell you to keep that draft, because you mustn't make that mistake again. If you make that mistake, I dread to tell you what will happen to you if you make that mistake again. So I will save you the pain of what we went through. He will make sure that every single process that's found in court, he goes through it. And he found time for each and every one of us. He was a teacher, in the true sense of the word. Not like what happens now, that you just send juniors off into court without really telling them what to do. Oga will tell you every single word you should say before the judge. And the very first time I moved the motion, as he was telling me what to say, I was writing it down, as if I knew. So when I got to court, he just said, Ayo, move that application. I said, oh my God. And I got up and I just took out a piece of paper that I scribbled on, and I said everything that he told me to say. And then I saw the judge smiling at me, and that was my very first time. And then I knew, yes, I've got it right. And I know that from now on, that's how I'm going to do my cases. And that's how I fell in love with the practice of the law. If you work close with Oga, you will get to love the law, you will get to love practice. Because he was a teacher, he was a mentor, he was a father, a brother, and a friend. His love for what he did, his love for the law, radiated on all of us. And I'm sure I speak for all the alumni, that we learned a lot. So much so that when I left him after a year and I went to work with NSDPC, I found that everything was easy. I just consulted my file, brought out all my drafts, and I had a draft for every single legal situation that arose. So they thought I was very brilliant. But you know, and I now know that I was not brilliant at all. I was just copying what Oga had told me to do. I was just regurgitating what he told me to do. And so he laid the foundation, and as I went through my career in NSDPC, Ministry of Justice, up to the bench, I found that all he had taught me at the very beginning is where I find myself now today. He was a politician. It's a pity he's not here now because I need his advice, because I'm now dealing with politicians. And I need him to now to steer me through these very uncharted waters that I find myself. But I know if I go back in my thoughts, I know I'll find something there somewhere that he said that I can use. So on behalf of all of us, we're very glad to be here today. We're very glad that we have done him proud. I wondered why I was #1 on the list of alumni. Now I realize that many of those that came before me have died. Honorable Justice Edozie, she became a judge with the East. Monica Edozie, Ojo Madueke, Leke Awolisi, Honorable Justice Adio, Busola Adio, Ogunlesi Adio. They were all there before me. They should be here now, but may their souls rest in peace. I thank Kayode and all the members of the chambers for remembering Papa today. As you have remembered Papa, so shall the Lord remember you for good. And his good works will follow forever, will follow him forever and ever. Because it's not what you do in your lifetime that's important. But what you do, it's only when you're dead that what you've done in your lifetime will now come to the fore and you'll be remembered. And we all pray to be remembered for good works. Papa has come and he has gone. He did his good works and he's now being remembered. And we shall assemble here again, I'm sure in another 10 years, to remember him once more. Although we'll be old, maybe I'll have to be carried up the stairs, but at least we'll be here by the grace of God to remember him. Thank you very much.